guys, it's Alicia here with my work basket, back for another Friday flip. If you are new here, the Friday flip is a time on Friday where I spend some time just flipping through a vintage magazine from my collection and talking to you about it. It's just kind of a chatty thing for us to look at funny pictures, old crafts, old advertisements. And then I highly invite you to chat with me in the comments about anything from this issue that kind of catches your attention. Today I am doing the Make It with Make It with Aunt Lydia's heavy rug yarn. It's not really a magazine, it's a pattern book, but that is what I'm doing. I think these are actually yarn flowers, so those will be in there. This doll. So what we do is I just flip through page by page, show you the crafts, and chat about kind of anything that comes to mind. So here's these different pillow patterns. This one's actually kind of cute. Sometimes the texture doesn't show up super well on the camera, but this one's got kind of like diamonds of texture. But then it's kind of like triangles. If you picture a pyramid with a bobble at the base of the pyramid, that's kind of got a neat texture to it. But yeah, a lot of times that type of texture doesn't necessarily show on camera. The flowers are in here. So easy flowers. So these are absolutely just hanks of yarn with wire folded in the center. And they tell you how to do like what length of hank and stuff like that. Those are kind of, I actually kind of like the cattails. I really like cattails. I think they're neat, but the prettiest shell. One thing that surprises me with something like this that's wearable, I have some old heavy rug yarn in my collection and in my stash. It tends to be really, really scratchy, like the scratchiest of scratchy. I can't picture wearing it as a sweater. Have you guys ever found like a rug yarn that you would wear as a sweater? Because I feel like I'd be itching like crazy. Oh, that's nice. I really love that. They advertise these as put a little color in your patio, rug, placemats, and coasters. I really like those. I don't entirely love this pale pink square. Well, pale pink patch. I feel like those stand out really weird, but the other coloring and all of it, I really like that. The coloring and the shape and more tissue toppers so you can hide away your excess toilet paper. This very creepy clown, and this one kind of looks like a cake. I don't necessarily know if it's supposed to look like a cake, but to me it looks like a cake. The interesting thing is instructions for rose topper on 24. I was like, it only has the instructions for one of them in here. Sorry, I picked it up to look at it closer. I was like, one of the instructions isn't even on that page. Peachy Beachy. Here's another one that I cannot picture making something to wear out of rug yarn, and I especially cannot picture making something. The Peachy Beachy implies that it would be like a beach cover up, as does the kind of looser nature. I just picture that being so hot and so scratchy. I mean, like remade in a modern yarn, oh, I bet it's astounding. I've got some super soft and silky kind of slightly bulky yarns, but still, that I just picture that being so hot. A rug and toilet seat cover. I'm going to be honest, I have a 14-year-old boy. I cannot picture putting anything soft on my toilet seat. But, I think any woman with sons looks at a toilet seat cover and is like, hold up now. But they have a neat stitch pattern in there. It gives it a great texture. Coveralls. The Curler Carrier spray cover and tissue topper. Now, we're all familiar with the tissue topper. Let me know if you've ever seen a curl carrier. This is actually not the first time I've seen a curl carrier, but I don't think I have ever seen a spray can cover to essentially cover up your like hairspray and stuff. I don't think I've ever seen that. That is a first for me. The photos are black and white, but the colors used are actually yellow, peacock,
moss, and I know I'm going to say this wrong because I've only ever seen this in writing and never seen it out loud. Cerise, Cerise. I've never actually heard that pronounced. So they're probably actually really pretty. Like, those colors are really nice. Oh, and white. So the stripes, I'm guessing, vary between those other colors. Yeah, they're probably really cute, but I've never seen a can cover. That's new to me. A mini doll. Oh, this is, I'm going to file this away in my mind in the very creepy Friday flip thing. This is, okay. So first of all, it's furry. I mean, like, really furry. And that's just kind of, you know, the head is like a yarn doll head, which whatever. But can you see these tiny little hands? Do you see those little hands? Just, this is an interesting blend of techniques. Let's put it that way, because this is, oh, so the hands are pink felt with red felt in place for fingernails. Yeah, this one is, it's an interesting blend of techniques and textures. That one's really kind of, whew. All right, this is cute. I don't entirely get the tail. Like, I guess it's just for hanging, for decoration. It looks almost like a bell, but I don't see anything in the description about, like, putting a bell in it. So I think it's just for decoration. But that one's kind of cute. Cynthia Centipede, which is a yarn doll done with a lot of legs. I like her glasses, though. She's cute in the face. Dishcloth totes. Oh, these are neat. Okay. So they take, and it shows on a picture in a second. This is how I so immediately understand them. So I never flip through Friday flip videos in advance. As I talk to you about it, I'm seeing it for either the first time or the first time in a long time. So sometimes I'll see stuff and I'll be like, how did they do that? So this one, I happened to see some information while I was looking for the other pattern of the tissue covers. But these are really, really neat. So what they do, they're called dishcloth totes because they used two kind of mesh style dishcloths and wove the yarn through them in this pattern. So kind of a combination of like Swedish weaving. And you can see that here. So it's kind of on like a mesh dishcloth. And then the yarn woven through. That's really neat. Like, I don't often see dishcloths like that anymore. I probably would buy them because honestly, I bet they dry great. But I don't often see dishcloths like that. But if I do, I'm going to have to try and remember this. And then this has the instructions for the other topper and an Xmas bell with some rickrack decoration. Here's another one. This is dishcloth placemats. That's a big dishcloth too if it's being used as a placemat. So it's the same thing where they're using a dishcloth, but they are weaving it. And it just says to work in the same manner as woven tote bag, but start weaving lengthwise of the dishcloth at a lower edge. So the other one is done and folded, and this one is done lengthwise. So that's a really big dishcloth. Now I want to find some of those dishcloths. I bet they're amazing for actual dishcloths. So those are really neat, the way they wove through. Give her the boot. That's what it says as the subject page here. I do need a better mount of some kind for showing you these. I don't have a great mount for showing you table work with my camera, so that's why I kind of have to switch it around so much. But I don't want to stop doing Friday flips until I get something better. So this is a neat structure. So it looks like it goes down and kind of back up, and then has like a toe shape put in. You can see, hopefully see kind of the detail of how they went, and that's kind of neat. Fuzzy Wuzzy. Okay, so one thing I noticed about this worm, I hope it shows on camera. This is cute. I mean, like, kids nowadays would be like, what is this? Most of them. But this is really cute. It's got like a mustache. That's cute. I love the like weird long mustache. He also has rickrack, I'm thinking, for his eyes there. But that mustache is cracking me up. Okay, so, okay, so the doll that I showed on the cover here, her eyes are a little big. One thing I love to talk about in Friday Flips is how you can see techniques and styles change over time. That's one of the reasons I love vintage magazines, is that like if you sit and you go through a stack of vintage magazines kind of back to back to back, you just see this interesting change in techniques where like you can see the shift from almost like a cookie cutter style stuffed animal to a more shaped stuffed animal to a more like single crochet in the round amigurumi. Like, so you can see this, but this doll uses some of the older style techniques, and it is a pajama cover or toaster cover. So in the way of techniques, when it comes to like the eyes and things, which they didn't have, you know, massive amounts of safety eyes and stuff like we do now. So in the way of techniques and all, nowadays there's much better ways to picture constructing her. And even for the time, I mean, she's garter stitch and it's slightly creepy looking. I can think of ways now to create a much better finished item, but you know, she's cute in her own special way, but I cannot picture her as a toaster cover. Pajama cover on your bed, sure. Toaster cover in your kitchen. I collect dolls. I've showed them on my channel. I'm not one who's like, oh, all dolls are creepy. But a toaster cover in the kitchen of that doll would absolutely freak me out. I would not. I don't have that one in me. Knitted garter stitch slippers. And then there's just some general information, knitting abbreviations, a picture of what the hanks look like. Patterns, full size. I love a full size pattern. So that one doll, the one furry doll, I don't think it gives you a total finished size, but it is surprisingly large because you can see how tiny the hands look on the finished item. But look how big the hand pattern is. I don't exactly have petite hands. Let's see here. So the hand is almost 4 inches, and you cut it out of felt, so it probably doesn't lose much in sizing. But it looks so small on the finished doll. So besides the fact that that doll is furry and interestingly assembled, it's big. It's really big. The dress, okay, so that's what this is. So the entire body is furry, and then the dress is a patterned item that you make and it can wear, I guess. The dress is more than 22 rows. So that's a decent size. I'm trying to see a crochet hook size H, because it is a little bit bigger and bulkier than a worsted weight yarn. So 22 rows with a size H, that's a decent length dress. Finger quotes. Yeah, this doll is blowing my mind. I'm not going to lie. So knowing that this hand is about 4 inches long and such a tiny portion of the finished doll, this doll is by far one of the wildest things I've ever actually seen in a magazine in my collection. That's saying something. I've got a lot of magazines. I've seen a lot of stuff. Wow. Wow. Yeah, wow. It's really kind of blowing my mind. It's really blowing my mind. This doll and how big it must be. Like, I pictured it kind of like a little, 12 inch or so, but this is like a sofa sitter. This is like a sofa sitter level of, so the head is also about 4.5 inches. I mean, My math is not great, so be prepared for the fact that whatever I'm about to say is probably poorly calculated. But the head in the photo is slightly less than an inch. About a half an inch. And it's 4 inches long. So if the total length of the doll, let's try and get to her straight foot here. So she's almost 6.5 inches long. And each half inch is about 4 inches. Oh, I bumped my camera. Sorry about this. So let's see. All my brain is like, that's a big doll. My brain is still so blown by like how big it is. So okay, so what did I just say? She's almost 6.5 inches. Let's pull out a calculator here. Times 2. So I don't think that's right. So okay, someone who is better at math and more awake than I am. And I'm going to try and keep calculating this. Someone tell me in the comments below how big that turns out. Because I suspect that is not... I suspect my math is like really, really wrong. I can't quite wrap my early morning brain around how to calculate that. Okay, hang on. So if I so the way I'm doing it is that I'm taking the total length of about 6.5 and I'm timesing it by 2 to represent that each half inch is the equivalent of a part of her. And then I'm timesing that by 4 because each half inch is 4 inches. And again, I am half asleep and also not very good at math. It is probably very wrong, but if that is the correct way to do it, I'm getting 52 inches. There's no way, right? Like my math's got to be off on that. There's no way this doll is like 52 inches tall. The head is 4.5. The hand is 4 inches. There's not enough else to go on for sizing for me to calculate this. This is how big the shoe is. This is a big doll. This is a big doll, you guys. This is like really, the shoe is over 6.5 inches. So yeah, 52 inches, guaranteed my math is wrong. But this is a big doll. This is not, like I pictured a little petite thing like the size of this ruler. And it's not. It's a big old doll. A big old furry doll. But then it says mini doll. I cannot wrap my head around this doll. An estimated total size and the like. Let me see something here. Okay, so Cynthia Centipede uses 2 skeins of yarn for her body. This doll uses 3 skeins each of 2 colors. So her body is 6 skeins. Possibly more. It sounds like the body is 6 skeins and the dress is 3 skeins. Part of me is tempted to make this doll just to see how like big and ridiculous it is. Wow. I mean, yeah, this one, this is by far one of the most surprising, definitely one of the most surprising, the most surprising Friday flip item so far. This is way up there with the cucumber gifts in a previous episode. This is the weirdest, wildest Friday flip find. But this is also probably the weirdest, wildest item in an issue, in a magazine, in a pattern book, in my collection ever. And I've collected 60s and 70s books and patterns for a long time. Guys, they did some weird stuff. This is by far one of the weirdest things I've seen. It's just so furry. So furry. Anyway, I think that is enough. I could go on. I'm probably going to be thinking about this doll all day and just how it blows my mind. But I'm sure you don't want to watch me just be weirded out by this doll all day. So, with that, we have finished the book. The patterns were the last pages. And then the back cover. Oh, okay. So there's a better example. The back cover. So there's a picture of the doll on the stairs. It's a good, like, 2 to 3 feet long. I don't get how they call it a mini doll. But it's sitting on the stairs. Okay, so if my 52 inches is correct, it's a little bit over 4 feet long, which does kind of align with being able to drape up and over the stairs. Also here on the back, you can see the woven placemats from Dishcloths. The pillow that I don't think the texture is necessarily going to show on camera. And the other pillow and the cute cat. Maybe the piece that hangs down is meant to be a tail because they just kind of show it sitting there, but it's cute. So, and there's the Christmas bell in color. I think that actually covers most of, but not all of the patterns in the book. Right on the front and back covers. But I can't decide if the furry doll is even more creepy in color. So anyway, that is the Friday flip for this week, where I just found the wildest doll I've probably ever seen. And I thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day. Please, the whole point of Friday flip is to get chatty and talk about this weird stuff and these interesting finds. So chat with me in the comments about your favorite thing about this pattern book and your thoughts, especially on that very wild doll. I'm trying to see if there's any variety of copyright on this. It was only 39 cents. I don't actually see any variety of copyright for the book itself, so I can't really tell you when it is from. I could take somewhat of a guess, but I think I'd be wrong. So yeah, so chat with me in the comments about your thoughts on this and your thoughts on the doll, your thoughts on anything else. I know I mentioned the wearable items being made out of rug yarn. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So chat with me in the comments about anything and everything related to this issue in this Friday flip. And guys, have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I thank you for watching.